Hey guys, so I'm seeing a lot of people struggle with builds in Deadlock, and I wanted to talk about the thing that people struggle with the most, especially people that don't play MOBAs, like Overwatch players and like Valorant players, CS players. Um, they make this mistake quite a lot, where the stuff that they buy is suboptimal, and uh, it's not it's not that it doesn't always work, but it's just not optimal for the character for certain reasons. And at first, I wanted to talk about a haze build. I wanted to talk about my haze build, but at the end of the day, the meta is always changing. There's probably going to be another patch in like a few days, and it might become outdated again. So I'm just going to make a series on how to build and like from the most important onwards, because this is the most important one. Yeah, so if this video does well, I'll make another one. So what do I mean by suboptimal? There's some really obvious ones that everybody knows, like probably like 95% of Deadlock players know, like how on Ivy, if you buy Fleetfoot on Ivy, it's suboptimal for something really obvious. The passive doesn't matter on Ivy because she gets this removes the move speed penalty while shooting passive for free. So she can buy this item, she'll gain bonus health, slide distance, and when you active you do get ammo and move speed. But at the end of the day, this passive, because it's just thrown in the trash, because it doesn't matter for Fleetfoot, it's suboptimal. That's an obvious example. Another obvious example is, let's say you're playing Vindicta, let's say, and you buy Hunter's Aura and Point Blank. Obviously, you're not going to be close enough to activate these benefits. And same with the other way around, like you are Abrams and you buy long range. It just doesn't really make sense. Your shotgun doesn't do well in long range, you want to be close. That kind of thing. The next level of like being suboptimal is less obvious. So that would be stuff like buying shields and resistances at the same time. So let's say you have a combat barrier and you have spiritual overflow, and this gives you 550 the physical damage shield, and then you get improved bullet armor. So the problem with this is that the improved bullet armor doesn't apply on shields. Shields doesn't care about negative resistances or like anything like that. Bullet armor and other armor, spirit armor, only works on HP. So this works the other way around too. So when you get hit by minus armor, your shields won't be affected at all. So if I get Swift Striker, which is -5 bullet resist, the shields aren't affected at all by the -5 bullet resistance. Only when the shields are gone does it matter. So the next step after this is what I think even like really good players don't fully think about that much yet, is stuff like how the really deep things about how things are suboptimal. So let's say I'm Haze, right? Lately Haze got a change where it's a buff where bullet dance, the extra damage you get is spirit. So this is an indirect nerf to bullet lifesteal on Haze. So I thought about this quite a lot. Bullet lifesteal is really good on any character that does gun damage. Like Haze, it's still good on Haze, but the thing is, it's less good now, and especially bullet lifesteal and barriers. So let's say you have barriers, right? Bullet lifesteal is gonna have less value because it doesn't regenerate the shields, obviously, right? Obviously. It's just stuff that you think about like that. It's obvious if you think about it, but this is anti-synergy right here. And yeah, I feel like people don't think about this kind of thing enough, where you can buy it, but at the end of the day, it's not the best. You could be getting something else. Like, for me, even though Bullet Lifesteal, I used to get it every time on his, I've been rethinking things, and I feel like Fortitude is just better in the long run, even though it's way more expensive, right? It has so good synergy with shields, because this 75% health, when you're above 75% health, you get bonus weapon damage and move speed. This basically, buying shields basically turns this to when you have shields and a bit of HP, you get these bonuses. And the fact that Fortitude benefits more on low HP characters because it's flat bonus damage instead of the percentage base health. And characters like Haze, Vindicta, they have terrible base health. They start at like no health. So even if you get percentage base health, you're barely increasing the HP. So I found that Fortitude and Combat Barrier and the other shields it feels really good to buy. It feels really optimal. And yeah, that's the whole thing I want to say making this video. I don't know if I'm being clear or what, but yeah, people are not thinking about these things enough. And there is the flow of the game and stuff. Like, what if you need a sustain item and you just can't get to Fortitude? You can't even jungle because you don't have sustain until Fortitude, and that's why you get it so early and blah blah blah. But I don't want to talk about flow of items in this video right now because it will be too long and too complicated. So for now, I want to focus on what is optimal. So back to Haze, I want to talk about like weighing the good and the bad in items. So let's say Shadow Weave on Haze. In theory, Haze likes these things, especially in my current build. She can benefit a lot from Spirit Shield. She can benefit a lot from ammo. I mean, she doesn't really need it, but and when you get out of the active, the Shadow Weave active, you get Fire Rate, which Haze really benefits from, and Spirit Power, which Haze can benefit from too. But the issue is this active, which is invisibility, how much of that is valued in Shadow Weave? Because Shadow Weave is balanced around all these things, where it gives HP regen, Spirit Shield health, ammo, invisibility, and this ambush effect when you get out of the invisibility. So when you buy on a character that like Haze, which doesn't need invisibility, she's like one of the only heroes that really don't give a shit about having an invis item because she has it already. How much do you value the ambush fire and the ambush spirit power and the other passives you get to justify buying this? That's the thing. Like, you can still buy Shadow Weave on Haze. I'm sure it would work, but it's slightly suboptimal. But there are aspects of it that she likes too. So I don't want this video to be like, oh, you only should buy optimal things. Anything can work in this game. Like I wanna show you ELOTHEIF's build. So ELOTHEIF's build, in my opinion, is highly suboptimal. But because of how he likes to play and how the thought process around the build, it works out. Some people don't understand this. If you just take ELOTHEIF's build without thinking about it and play Haze normally, I'm sure you won't really have a good time, because let's see already, like long range on Haze, she doesn't really care about weapon damage in the first place. Reload time is okay, the shield is pretty good, but it gives mainly weapon damage, so it's plus 50 on an item this cheap if you're at 15 meters or above. But the issue is, when you're ulting, the ult distance is 50 meters. You see where I'm coming from? So this 30 damage will never activate during that time. And Headhunter, where Headhunter is great, it gives you heal per headshot, which on a shield build isn't really that nice. It's so weird how this item gives bullet shield, by the way, incentivizing you to build spirit and incentivizing you to build shield, but at the same time it gives percentage healing on your max HP. So that's really fucking weird. And also the fact that this is in this build when you ult, I'm sure you guys know this, when you ult, you don't headshot at all. There's no headshots. So this passive also doesn't benefit from her ult. But at the end of the day, these things can work because he's playing more around a certain way. Like, I think if you read the description, it'll say something like focusing on hitting headshots, building fixation at a long range, and like bursting people from like mid-range, basically. It's not focused around ult. Ult in this build, you buy all these items, it's going to be weak. Like bullet lifesteal doesn't do heal as much in ult anymore. Headhunter doesn't activate in ult. Long range doesn't activate in ult. All these things, but it can still work. So at the end of the day, anything in this game can work, but you should be mindful of how you want to play and how your hero, what kind of things your hero likes. So yeah, no shade to ELOTHEIF, by the way. He's really good at the game. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. It can be a discussion because a lot of people don't talk about it enough. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'll make a part 2 about like build flow or like other things about build if you guys are interested. So yeah.
We? Who's we? There is no we.